This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Albert Lorenzo, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis, Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Jordan Gower, and Geof Searles. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Kurt Ekstrom and Michael Eschbacher to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really, truly appreciate it. In this episode, we're talking about Chapter 18 of Knife of Dreams.
Yeah, Chapter 18 is News for the Dragon.
Yeah, and it's just regular old, here's what's happening in the world type of news.
I mean, sort of. It's also like events are happening, stuff Rand is laying out is taking place. We get some pretty important Black Tower news here.
Yeah.
That you for sure picked up on, I hope.
I feel like everything that we learn about the Black Tower, I'm like, I told you so.
What? What do you mean?
It's not like new and surprising.
Dani, you know who really has news too? It's Loyal.
It's Loyal has news.
Yeah.
Oh, he gets a surprise at the end.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Not necessarily a good surprise. I guess we'll see.
But you know what? I'm going to try real hard not to complain because we're not with Elaine anymore.
That's true. We had 5 solid chapters, and now we're out of it.
Yeah.
So, here we go. Fun fact for this one, it's kind of special because we're at the halfway point in Knife of Dreams.
Ooh.
We did it. We're about halfway through. But also, we're officially about 3/4 of the way done the series now.
Wow.
So from all the books you read, including New Spring, we're a little bit over, or like just around the 3.2 million word count.
Holy smokes.
Yes, and there's only about 4.4. So we are in the final stretches almost of this book series. Which is kind of crazy when you think about that.
Amazing.
Pretty cool. But we're here. We're
what
doing it.
What are we going to do when we're done?
I don't know.
That's
Go back
the question everyone keeps asking.
Do it again.
We have so many years.
Yeah, I know. There's like actually like 2 years, I think.
At least a couple.
At least 2 years.
Yeah.
Especially at the pace we're going, especially with the length of the last couple of books.
Oh, yeah. It's slowing down for the show.
The show's going to impede us a little bit. So, hey, we're here. We're doing this. Let's talk about the news now.
Oh, that was the fun fact?
That was it. That's all you get today.
That we're halfway through this book?
And 3/4 of the way through the series.
Oh.
Do you want me to tell you the word count of each individual book? Because I have that. I don't want that.
I feel like you've told us that before. I don't need that.
I have, but I could summarize it nicely for you.
For me or for everyone else? Because this isn't for me.
Nobody wants it. I feel like I was being nice by saying roughly 3.2 million words out of 4.4. Like, come on. What more do you want?
How many words does this book have?
I already told you that. That was the very first episode. I told you how many... at the start of like every book for the past like 8 books I've told you.
Yeah, I know that. And
the word count.
Sure, you think I'd... never mind. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Let's begin.
Okay. So, Chapter 18 is called News for the Dragon, and the chapter symbol is the dragon.
Yeah, it's Rand. It's our boy.
It's for Rand. Now, we are going to get some tidbitty stuff about what's been going on. We get some recap stuff, except I can really appreciate the way in which we're getting the recap.
Okay.
Because the recap in this scenario is being told out loud to a character in the story who wants to know what's been happening.
Okay,
and so it's kind of this interesting roundabout way for us to get this recap of stuff we already know.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Now, we also do get a heck of a lot of description, specifically of the fireplaces in this manor house, where we've been before. We've been here. We've been here for a while.
Yeah. Probably not in this room, though.
I mean, maybe.
No, me and you, we have not yet.
Okay.
Been in this room with them.
You're pretty confident. I don't know. Okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure we've been in like one room in this place. We've had like one Rand perspective, and then Cadsuane wandered around outside.
Yeah, and I think it was raining then, and I think it's still raining now, and maybe it's either still raining or it's just raining again.
I don't know.
So there's a lot of details here that we don't need to pick up on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are in a Rand perspective. Rand is still in the same place that he was the last time we saw him, which was at some manor house in the middle of nowhere Tierland.
Yeah, like somewhere sort of near the mountains, maybe. It's very questionable.
Mm-hmm.
But part of that thing
I don't even think Rand even really knows where he is.
I was going to say, that's part of it. It's a secret. Nobody's supposed to be knowing where he's at.
Ooh.
He's hiding, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to find out that Loyal is here with Rand, asking him a million incessant questions.
Yeah.
Because Loyal's been pestering Rand for details of all the events that have been taking place since he left on his pointless mission.
It wasn't pointless. It was to block off a bunch of the way gates. There was a point to it.
Nobody cared about the mission.
You didn't. You didn't care about the mission.
Who else didn't care about the mission?
Rand didn't care about the mission. He kind of cared.
Didn't care.
It was important enough for him to send 2 guys to go do it.
Okay, fine. He delegated and trusted Loyal to get it done, so he put it out of his mind completely.
And Loyal did like 75% of it. Like, we're almost all the way there.
You know?
It's fantastic.
For most classes, that's a pass.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do kind of feel sorry for Loyal, because he is asking a lot of questions, but it's only because Rand's giving him literally nothing.
I know.
And the man has a book to write.
I know.
How's he supposed to write the book if he doesn't have the details? How does he get the details if he doesn't ask questions? Like, what's he supposed to do?
Yep.
He's not asking for a lot here.
Not really. But Rand doesn't even really want to give him any useful details.
Yeah.
He's even making this book sound super boring.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you did all these cool things.
All these events.
You even made the cleansing of Sidene sound boring. Like, What are you doing? So how little is Rand actually saying?
Rand is just downplaying his role in a lot of things. Like, he's telling Loyal at the cleansing, I just sat there and channeled.
Yeah.
While everybody else around me was doing the heroic things.
You know what the thing is? Rand doesn't understand books. He doesn't understand how you have to write books. And for Loyal to be able to get first-hand knowledge here from the guy who was there who did it, super important.
Yeah, I think for the cleansing thing, we really need Cadsuane's perspective, though.
That too.
Because she really orchestrated a lot of that.
99% of it, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And was conscious and aware of everything that was going on.
What is she really going to tell Loyal for a book, though?
Well, yeah. And Loyal's like, you didn't even tell me which Forsaken...
What do they look like? What do they smell like? What do they feel like? You got to tell me all the details. Getting nothing here.
Yeah, because this is where we're getting that sort of subtle recap where Loyal is asking questions about how Rand took Ilion and how he took the crown and did all those things.
Changed the name of it. What did that look like? What did that taste like? What did it feel like? And also, we get a little tidbit here. Apparently, Loyal is attempting to grow out his beard and his mustache.
Who cares?
But it's not going so well. It's only been a couple of weeks, and he is still quite young for an Ogier.
He's a young guy.
I feel for him. You know, poor guy can't do it properly.
Okay. All right, so then Rand is going to catch us up to speed with the news that he's still doing his dead woman list, and Moiraine is at the top of that list.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, probably not dead.
Maybe not.
Rand's going to be so excited to learn that maybe not dead.
Will that affect his list? How does the name come off the list when it turns out she's not dead?
Yes.
Okay,
but then does it go back on if she dies in the rescue attempt?
Oh, again? Okay, or was she always dead in his mind? If it's like she dies in the you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, she's got to make it out, and then...
You know what he should do?
Prediction time.
Put it on twice. Just double up on all the names just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Good idea. I'm actually quite impressed with his memory.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Yeah.
It's not real. None of this is... Out of all the things, this is the most
remembering
unrealistic.
Anyone's names ever.
And where they came from, and what sept they're from, and whatever. Anyway, what I was going to say, new prediction time.
Okay.
Moiraine is going to live.
Okay.
Matt is going to rescue her.
Yeah.
And then Rand maybe will be so relieved that Moiraine is alive, the entire list will dissolve.
Whoa,
and he stops saying it.
It's like he breaks the chain of, it's your fault that all these women died.
Maybe, yes.
And her being at the top of the list is like the rest of it can...
I would appreciate this to stop.
I like it.
I would like it if this was over.
I do like it. I like it. You know what I do also like is the fact that LTT is apparently like chiming in with the chanting of the women's names with Rand. So they're working together. Just a couple of boys.
Yeah, Lews Therin is way less funny than he used to be. I used to really like Lews Therin. He's not as hilarious.
He's like
anymore.
playing into Rand's craziness. Like, who's the real madman? I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Now, we also learn that Min has been doing a lot of reading, all of Herod Fell's books.
Yeah, philosophizing, you know?
Yeah. And then Min tells Loyal that Rand isn't talkative with anyone, pretty much, and he'll have better luck getting answers from Cadsuane and Varen about what went down in the last little while.
Yeah.
And then that had me thinking, where has Varen been and what has she been doing? Because I forget completely.
She's literally been here.
Yeah, was she at the cleansing?
Yeah.
Really? Varen was?
Yeah, they tried to shield one of the Forsaken and it didn't go well.
Oh,
remember?
No.
They spent a little bit of time like, oh, how do I try and attack? And it's like she tried to shield the one and then it like didn't work because you can't
I gotta go back to my flashcards for that
no,
battle.
Varen's been here the whole time. And I do like the fact that when Varen's name is mentioned, she does the typical Brown thing where she like looks up confused. Like, what? So it's in my name?
Me?
And I also love the fact that like Cadsuane and Varen are both just sitting there doing knitting and stuff. Like, what else?
Needlepoint. Well,
what do you do?
It's funny because we first are introduced to just Rand and Loyal sitting at a table.
Yeah.
And then it's like the camera zooms out, and then there's also Min.
Yeah.
And then it zooms out more, and then there's Cadsuane and Varen. And then it zooms out more, and then there's...
It's like Maiden's here
too. And it's like, oh, this is a whole full room. This isn't just Loyal and Rand hanging out.
Yeah, but it's like, what do the Aes Sedai, what do you do when you're in the middle of nowhere with the Dragon Reborn? You gotta stay secret. You work on your needlework.
Yeah.
Right? And you get it now because you're crocheting.
I am crocheting.
All sorts of stuff.
Not like that well.
Well, no, but these are like, they're super old. They're like, 300, well, Cadsuane's like 300-ish, right? So,
you're right. I do need 300 years to get good at crocheting. I don't understand how people are so good at it.
Practice.
I don't have the patience for counting the stitches properly.
Right. Yeah.
And even if I like miss a stitch or double up a stitch, I'm like, whatever. And then
and you know what? Everyone who doesn't crochet has no idea what you're talking about. So that's okay.
But everyone who does is like, get it, man. I get it.
Totally.
Yeah. But I do it anyway.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Now, Loyal is getting really huffy because Rand didn't even mention that he was imprisoned in Farmatting and, all of that stuff.
Yeah, skip
and it's
over
like,
that detail.
That's his trauma.
Yeah.
Like, this is all so traumatic for Rand.
Like, he doesn't want to go
doesn't
back
want to relive it.
Remember,
although, I really do think that if it was just Loyal and Rand, this could be, like, therapy.
Sure.
If Rand could talk through what happened.
Yeah.
Loyal doesn't have much to offer in terms of support.
Yeah.
But even just talking about it probably could help.
And like maybe because I could also see that going terribly with Loyal being like, and tell me what the crushing feeling of being in a tiny cell felt like after you were in the box that was crushing and tiny and torturous.
Yeah.
Just like go more detail on that.
But that also might be therapeutic.
Like maybe.
Share it out loud instead of bottling it in.
Big maybe.
Nah, I think that's literally the point. The point is to talk about it and share.
Yeah. Not with someone who's like, I want to turn this into a book.
Well, it's interesting.
It is interesting, yeah.
If your trauma is interesting, definitely capitalize
on it. That's the world we live in. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, he gets it.
Well, Loyal does. Rand, no.
Not so much.
Bottle that shit right up.
Yeah.
Now, Loyal mentions that he hopes Perrin and Matt are okay, and also that they'll be able to give him answers to what they've been doing.
Like better answers than Rand's given.
And then we get a colorful rainbow spinning update.
Yeah, we do.
Because Rand is still having his visions of Matt and Perrin every time somebody mentions them or he thinks about them. And he's gotten way better at suppressing them when he wants to. But at this point, he sees Matt riding through a forest, leading a bunch of people on horses. And he looks like he's arguing with a small, dark woman.
Yeah, so Matt is still with Tuon in present time.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. And then he sees Perrin sitting in an inn with a man and a woman in funny coats. And Perrin doesn't look happy. And the man and woman don't look happy with him.
Yeah. We're not really sure what that one is. The whole, like, matching red coats and the funny colors, like...
Well, isn't that the two Shanshin that he's with?
Presumably, but, like, I guess we don't know for sure, but it seems that way. Like, who else would it be?
I don't remember their names anymore, but...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
Yeah, like, that's where we kind of left off last time, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I'm wondering if at any point Rand thinks that they can see him at any moment.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you know what I mean? And I think he's a touch narcissistic at this point.
Sure.
Just because he's the Dragon Reborn. Everything happens to him. Everything's about him. He's got the crazy channeling and the special powers and the everything.
Yeah.
And so I don't even think it would cross his mind that they could see him.
Yeah, which is interesting because of the next thing that happens here.
Because of the man he becomes aware of who becomes aware of him?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if that happens, then you might, like, put that also into the Rand, Matt, Perrin trifecta thing, too.
Yes,
so.
yeah, because I would imagine that Matt could probably come to the conclusion that Perrin can see him and Rand can probably see him.
Sure.
Like, maybe at some point, or if Perrin even gives this a thought for any 3 seconds at all.
He's occupied right now.
Looking for his wife.
My wife. Yeah.
We're all waiting for you to rescue your wife, okay?
She's the most beautiful woman in the world.
We're all waiting on this.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I just think that that's kind of interesting because I think that Matt and Perrin are probably more likely to recognize that it's a 2-way, 3-way looking glass, I guess.
Yeah.
But Rand, I think, is
not so much.
Not so much.
Cool.
But now, Kay, tell me about this floating head that he sees.
Okay, yeah. So right after the Matt and Perrin flashes, we get an abrupt image of another man's face in his head.
Who he can see very clearly.
He can see it very clearly for the first time because we've gotten hints of this actually quite a few times beforehand. And it's the blue-eyed man with the square chin. He's a few years older than Rand. And it's the face of the stranger who saved him in Shadow Logoth when he was fighting Samael. Remember, he fell into that pit, and then the man was there and pulled him up, and then Mashadar was there, and they both bale fired.
Well, yeah.
And then their bale fire touched.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got weird resonance feedback stuff happening.
Yes.
And now LTT chimes in, and he's like, whoa, he was aware of me. How can a face appearing in my mind be aware of me? It's like, thanks, Lews Therin.
Yeah.
That's helpful. And Rand argues with him. He's like, if you don't know, how am I going to know that? And then they both kind of agree, like Lews Therin and Rand, agree that the man seemed to be aware of them.
Yes.
Back.
Uh-huh.
And then Rand kind of pieces things together because we've gotten a few tidbits of this connection before, that it seems like because the balefire touched in Shadow Logoth, but the other guy was using the true power, and Rand's using the one power.
Which now Rand knows about.
Yeah.
Because at the time he didn't know about that.
Didn't know about that. Now we know a lot more about that, and we also know who that man was.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you if we know for sure, because, I don't remember the exact description of Moradin.
Yeah.
And I don't know if at any point it's actually been confirmed that the man at Shadow Logoth was Moradin.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Okay, so is this the first time that it's specifically mentioned like this?
Well, we've had a whole bunch of connections that Moradin was the guy with the description and the way he acts, and there's been a trail of tidbits. So Moradin is the guy at Shadow Logoth who saved Rand.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because I can't remember how Moradin was described. He was described in a lot of detail when Moghedien was first mind-trapped.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the guy.
This is him.
And Moradin is Ishamael come back again.
Yeah. Yeah, I do know that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
With less of the craziness, in a sense. Ishamael was off his rocker.
Yeah.
He seems to have calmed down a little bit in some senses. This new Moradin, new Ishamael guy, he seems a little bit more level-headed.
Does he, though?
I mean, you could argue that he's not, but...
I would argue that he's not.
Ishamael was also pretty crazy.
I would say, yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fair, too.
Uh-huh. I mean, he's not, Fire Eyes, crazy jumping into people's dreams.
But we do have Moradin with the saw going across his eyes.
I'm gonna say, there's lots that show us that he's still kind of nuts.
Mm-hmm.
He's just reined in as crazy for a different kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's a different flavor.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, last battle's coming, right? We all got to get ready for this.
Okay, so then do I officially get points for the prediction that the man at Shadow Logoth is Moradin?
If that's what you said, then yes.
I'm sure that's what I said.
It's hard to say.
Oh, I'm sure that's what I said.
I mean, I feel like we've talked about this before. I feel like we've covered this.
Mm-mm.
You might be getting bonus points or extra points.
I'll take it.
Are you double dipping on the points? I don't know.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Give me a sticker.
Yeah.
Where'd my stickers go?
Yeah.
Okay, found them. I get a snailed it sticker.
That works.
It's a snail.
That'll
says snailed it.
All right. So I just want to bring it back to Rand and his thoughts on this face or this man.
Yeah.
Because him and LTT are trying to figure out what's going on and why this connection happened. They think it's the Balefire, but then he also thinks that the other fellow must be a Dark Friend. Like, he's pretty sure of that.
Oh, yeah, but he knows for sure it's not a Forsaken because we know all their faces.
Yeah, and he's like, LTT knows the faces, and now I know the faces, so then he can't be a Forsaken. He's got to be somebody else, so, like, what's the deal with that? So it's kind of interesting that we know a lot more about Moradin. Rand is not in the loop on that.
No, and I'm actually now wondering, at what point is Rand gonna learn about this transmigration business that we've actually known about for a really long time?
Yeah. I mean, that is kind of the entire premise of the Dark One's offer of immortality, is the fact that you can be put into other bodies.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the entire concept there, so.
But now, while Rand is thinking about all of this. Oh, we didn't mention how when Loyal's like, I hope Matt and Perrin are fine, Rand says, yeah, they're fine.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just super casually.
He also...
And then Cadsuane and Varyn, like, look at him, like, how do you know?
It's kind of funny you mention that, because he also thinks, I need them, but they're off for a day at the Anseline Gardens. And we actually heard about this place.
Oh, yeah, because this was the fancy secret gardens.
Well, it's like the country club-esque restaurant gambling club that was destroyed in the Age of Legends during the war, and the Forsaken were thinking about that place, too.
Well, they had a meeting there.
Well, in, like, the faux... Like, they made it look like it. Yeah. But Rand thinks, I need Matt and Perrin, but they're off at the country club. They're off having a great old time.
Having the best time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, both of them. Just having the best times of their lives.
It's like, man, you basically sent them both away.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. But now Loyal's going to pick up on something being wrong with Rand's face. And then Rand is like, no, don't worry.
It's all good.
I'm doing fine.
There isn't a whole bunch of people in my head.
Ugh, and then Nynaeve. I'm just so done with this channeling and delving somebody against their will.
Well, they gotta make sure he's not sick.
No, they absolutely do not.
Could have eaten some bad weevils.
They know he's sick.
Yeah.
It's the same.
But what if
it's always the same?
What if it's bad food because the food's bad?
Then ask first.
No. See? You don't get it.
Even Rand is like, I wish you would ask first. And I'm like, we're still here, Nynaeve? Like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Storms over, grabs his head, delves him without asking.
Yeah.
Come on. So rude. But anyway, he's fine. Oh, except for his raging wounds.
Oh, yeah. The stuff that never heals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Except for that. But that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We do get a note that she tried to heal that too, but it didn't work. Like, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. And we also get a side note that the servants are all getting food poisoning because they're eating, like, rotten food.
Yeah.
It's
not good. That's why you gotta heal everybody. See? Otherwise, you'll get infected with evil weevils, and then you'll explode into a bunch of beetles.
You should still ask first. Now, this conversation is going to get interrupted real quick because Lord Logain has returned.
Yeah.
And I like Logain.
Okay, yeah.
He's shaping up to be a character I'm interested in hearing from.
Yeah, well, I mean, we kind of get like a little bit of a backstory in like a page or so, but technically he is a lord by birth, but he's a minor lordling with a scrap of land in the mountains, and then the king of Gildan, when Logain announced that, like, hey, I'm the Dragon Reborn, they stripped his lands and titles, so Logain's like, hey, they can take away my lands and titles, but I'm still Lord Logain.
Uh-huh.
So he's reclaiming that, and he's got like his own little sigil again here.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Okay.
Gotta find that glory somehow, right?
Okay, now, he's brought news that Elaine still holds Caemlyn, and then gives an update on the siege situation.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much exactly what we saw.
Yeah.
And Rand has recognized Elaine's need to fight for the throne herself, and it can't just be handed to her.
Sure.
Which is, you know, the fact that he's even acknowledging that is great.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that Logain probably knows Elaine is pregnant and isn't saying that here.
How would he know that?
Because everyone knows.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, no, we don't know how long he was. Like, we know that he went there, he snooped around, but super secretly, and then left.
I think that's information people would be talking about.
I mean, that's a big question mark. I'm not going to give...
I really was hoping it came up here.
Okay, I can understand that.
Especially because last time I was like, ooh, what's the news for the Rand?
Yeah, but
for the Dragon Reborn.
No, see, it'd be bad because then Rand would find out that actually it's not his, it's somebody else's baby.
No.
And then he'd be like, hey, Whose baby is that? That's not my baby.
I do think that it wouldn't be positive for Rand to learn at this moment of Elaine's situation.
Stack something else on his plate of to-do? His fatherly duties? Yeah, not so much time for that right now.
No, but he still has the right to know.
I mean, yeah, technically, but it's 100%, one of those things.
Not just technically, like he absolutely should
maybe
know.
Just wait a little bit, right? Does he need to know right now? He's got other,
I want him to know. I wanted it to come out. I was like waiting for it, and then it doesn't. And I was oh man, because at some point she's got to be showing, like she's got to be visibly pregnant,
right?
Like if anyone has eyes on her at all, it's like that chick's pregnant.
You're not supposed.
I know you're not supposed
to
comment on other women's bodies, but like Elaine for sure is where she's pregnant.
No, I
and
get
the rumors is she's pregnant, and she's like, I'm pregnant.
She's always holding a pillow in front of her stomach for some reason. I don't know. It's like every time I see her.
Carrying big handbags.
Yeah, exactly.
Hiding behind plants.
Right. Just happens to be behind the pillar over there.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Shots only from the neck up.
Yep.
Okay. Now, we also learned that the Borderlanders are still in the same place, and the rumors say that there are 13 Aes Sedai with them, and those are those 4 heads of houses, Borderlanders, that everybody's worried about, that there are, 200,000
Yeah, but we also really don't know that there's actually 13 Aes Sedai there. Like, we
know
really,
that there are some.
There's some. We don't know the actual confirmation on those numbers, though. But that's okay. So it's just a whole big catch-up of everything that we already know.
Yeah.
But it's good that Rand now knows that.
Right, and then we're also going to get a recap about Elida being crazy for the proclamation that nobody can approach Rand except through her.
Yeah, because it's that's not going to work, and we know that it's not going to work, and we know that Elida's crazy, so it all makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But now this is when we get to the real good news for the dragon.
Yeah, now before we get into that, let's take a really quick break.
Sounds good.
Do you need a drink?
Yep.
I'll take a drink.
Let's do that.
Okay, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. And now Rand has a question for Logain.
Yeah. Is it done?
Is it done?
Right. There was a mission that Logain was on, and we also got a tidbit that Bashir is also on a separate mission.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that.
Bashir is figuring out the meeting with the Shanshan.
Okay. Now, basically everything that happens in the second half of this chapter, I don't know how much of it I actually picked up on, and I'm just waiting for you to explain to me why any of it's important.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, so Rand sent Logain, who left the Black Tower, kind of secretly, from Mazrim Taim.
Well, because he was like, I'm going to go do the recruiting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then he just friggin' left. He's gone, and he came and met up with Rand.
That's right.
So Rand sent Logain back to the Black Tower, and basically gave Mazrim Taim orders to give up a whole bunch of Ashaman. So every single Ashaman that bonded Aes Sedai, all of them have been dispersed from the Black Tower, and now they're either in Ered Doman, which is the northwest portion there of the map, or they're reinforcing Ilion. So Rand is stacking armies on those two fronts.
Are they there with their Aes Sedai?
Presumably. It seems like all the Ashaman with all the Aes Sedai, everybody's gone. So in Ered Doman, that's the whole thing with Rodel Idiralda that we had, where King Al-Salam was presumably missing, giving crazy orders.
But it has something to do with Grandal.
Has something to do with Grandal, but she has some of Al-Salam's, relatives captive or compelled.
Yep.
But Al-Salam himself was kind of where's he at? And then Rodel Idiralda was hey, I finally got some orders that I can act on, and he got all that army together to go and fight off the Shanshan and also get the Terrabonners out of his home country.
Right, yeah.
That's that whole mission. So now Rand is up in Ered Doman trying to stabilize the country. Bandar Eben is the city on the coastline there. Apparently Ruark is there with the Aiel, putting that into order too right now. So that's kind of a big piece of information that Rand is trying to stabilize the northwest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then he's also reinforcing Ilion because we know the Shanshan are stacking up forces there to try to invade Ilion.
Right, yeah.
So this is all kind of a big news thing because Rand is putting up huge armies on the fronts where the Shanshan are going to be pushing.
Right. Which is interesting too, because I think somebody here points out if Rand is set to be negotiating with the Shanshan, it's weird that he's setting up to fight them.
Yeah, and that's
Rand's
the big mic drop. Yeah,
I'm just prepared for any outcome.
Yes, if they say no truce, then I'll just crush them. And that's kind of like the big reveal that he says to everybody later on. But before we get to that point, back to the Black Tower, Logain went, took out a whole bunch of Ashaman. Taim was pissed. He did not like that. And he really wasn't happy that he wasn't even told like where they're going or why. Because apparently Logain wasn't supposed to tell him anything. And Taim also really wanted to know where Rand is.
Yes.
But he's hiding. And Logain says to Rand, like, hey, it's a good thing I wasn't by myself because Taim probably would have tortured me to get that information out of me on where you are.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole conversation here is really leading into Logain saying, hey, Black Tower, bad business. Taim has a bunch of his cronies getting together and they're kind of forming like an inner circle, a tower within the tower, and you should do something about that.
And it's probably definitely Dark Friends.
Probably definitely Dark Friends. And Logain has been there and he's like,
but
I'm pretty sure.
But then Rand gets like all defensive about Taim and is like, no, man.
He's
he
like,
was
oh, yeah.
there. He was there for me. He built it for me.
Well,
I'm
he's
not
also like,
turning
why
on him.
would he build a tower so big to equal the White Tower if he's a Dark Friend? Why would he do that? And it's like
because
the White Tower also is full of Dark Friends.
Yeah.
Like,
because they're everywhere.
Same thing, man.
This was literally the thing I said from the beginning when they were just recruiting people from everywhere. Statistically speaking, Dark Friends are going to be here.
And, like, you don't need every single person to be a Dark Friend, but, hey, like, have a LVRN, like, top head honcho in the White Tower. Have them
Not so much anymore, though.
Not anymore, but,
I forgot about that. I forgot about her.
But that's the idea,
plots
right?
right now that are just, like, I forget are happening.
Hey, wheels are turning, right? Last battle's coming.
Hey, where's Egwene?
Get on board.
Oh, my God,
What's happening?
I forgot Egwene.
Oh, not
She's,
this
like, captured in the tower.
You forgot that?
I forgot. We've been
out of her.
worried about everything else.
Yeah. Oh. Now you know how Rand feels, right?
No, now I know how Loyal feels.
Loyal, he's like, I gotta write all this stuff down.
He has no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
Even
terrible.
as Rand and Logain are having this conversation, Loyal is like frantically taking minutes of this meeting.
Yes. Well, I mean, again, back to book writing, this is super critical because then you could like put all these things in quotes for your book. And that's like firsthand. No, like I was there in the room when that was said, so I can put quotations around that as like a actual thing that happened,
right?
Versus just a retelling of a retelling of a retelling of an event.
Yeah,
that's really good. That helps sell the books.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad our Q&A is coming up right away because people ask me all sorts of questions of things that are going on, and I get to think about things that I don't normally get to think about. So that's probably good for me because we've been just stuck with Elaine for so long.
Probably, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, the whole wrap up on that news. So Taim, oh geez, Taim has 41 cronies that are like high up in the Black Tower.
Ooh,
and
that's a lot.
He's got about another 50 currently in his special classes.
Oh yeah.
So Taim is really kind of forming this big inner circle.
Yeah. So then Rand and Logain are like fighting, like yelling at each other about whether or not we should trust Taim or not.
Well, and Rand's like, oh, it sounds like you're jealous of Taim's position. And Logain's like, I'm not jealous.
Like, Rand, like, shut up.
Shut up.
Like, maybe we should listen.
Well, that's what Cadsuane said. She's like, shut it.
Ugh, no, though. This is another thing that specifically I said out loud. I don't normally react when I'm reading very often.
Yeah.
But I said out loud, shut it, Cadsuane. Like, ugh, shut up. Shut up, Cadsuane. Like, literally, this has nothing to do with you, and you can't just threaten to spank people. Like, stop.
Don't you even know?
No, I'm so sick of it.
She has magical triangle that prevent Weaves from touching her and stuff.
I am so angry. Like, you can't just talk to these grown men like they're children. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what power you have. You cannot just interject on this conversation and then say, both of you quit it or I'm going to give you both a spanking.
Well, that might be your opinion, and it might be Rand's opinion, and it might be Logain's opinion, but it's not Cadsuane's opinion.
I just can't stand it.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. And I'm back to not liking Cadsuane.
Oh, no. Okay, that's the one that did it, hey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So mad. Like, out loud. I was like, shut up. Ugh.
Yeah, so good news, though. Good news. Logain does say that Taim took the names of the Ashaman that are here with Rand off the traitors list, and it definitely wasn't an accident that they were on there in the first place, but don't worry, they're off now. So that's good, right?
I guess so. I don't even know what Ashaman are here with Rand right now.
Yeah, that's okay. We don't even need to do that recap right now. That's fine. But The whole point was Rand basically took them and then
Damer Flynn?
Yeah, you got
one?
it. Yeah. Yeah. So they're with Rand.
Norishma? Is that one?
You're good. You're good. So they're no longer on the traitors list.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay. Because they're the ones, the last time we were actually here, Cadsuane was watching them fight Lan. Right? One of them was fighting with Lan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all practicing the sword.
Practice fighting.
Yeah.
And then Nynaeve was watching it.
Yeah.
And that's all we got about
It's really fun to watch Lan fight. He's really good.
Yeah.
Now, I do like Varen chiming in here because she's like super helpful with her comments. And she's like, hey, dealing with Daim's gonna have to wait because the last battle's coming. All the signs are clear. There's a bunch of ghosts everywhere.
Ghosts!
Ghosts and towns are melting into the mist.
Okay.
So,
which is like super true. And I'm glad we're taking note. And I'm glad it matters.
Yeah. Well, but hey, the last battle is super close.
Good.
Don't you know?
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 3 to 4 days, maybe 5.
I can see that as a real possibility.
Could be 6.
Yep, that too.
Maybe a whole 7 days.
Yeah, maybe definitely. Yeah.
What do you think about 10 days from now?
I could see that as a real possibility.
Okay. Yeah.
But really, I'm just excited that all of these things that are happening kind of matter to the plot. Because my whole thing was I was going to be angry if the whole ghost thing or any of these other weird things that were happening.
Yeah, it was like a one-off.
Like, literally just, like, didn't matter, and it was, like, shock value, and it's like, ooh, a weird thing.
Yeah.
A bubble of evil. And then, like, we just, like, move on with our lives. No, I'm glad that there's I'm not glad. Because it's weird and creepy and terrible, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not, like, vengeful ghosts from the looks of it, for the most part. They're just, like, hanging out,
Not yet.
Not yet, but we'll see. But back to it, because now Rand is going to have to ask for some advice on the plans from Cadsuane. He's like, hey, you're my advisor. Advise my plans.
But Cadsuane's all snarky about it.
Well, I mean, he hasn't filled her in on anything, really. Like, he's already put all the plans in motion.
He's
so
not filling anyone in on anything. Cadsuane shouldn't take it so personally.
It's like, as an advisor, you like, preemptively ask me my opinion before you do the plans, and don't be like, hey, how were those plans that I did?
Yeah.
Like, I do kind of understand the frustration there.
Yeah. But basically, what she says is people are going to hate peace with the Seanchan.
It's like, yes.
And Ron's like, yeah.
Brilliant. Yes.
No, I get it.
Yeah. She's like, no. People in, like, Terabon and Amadicia, they're going to super hate it. And he's like, yeah, for sure, man.
And then Ron says, well, it only has to last as long as the Dragon Reborn is alive. Then everyone can go back to war if they want.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to team up with the Seanchan to fight the Dark One.
It's a temporary alliance
then I'm going to do it, and then we can deal with property and geography lines and all of that later.
Yes. And, like, I also get that. And sure, don't truce up or team up with the Seanchan because they have Damani. And, like, I understand that point of view. But also, Rand is more big picture of, like, hey, the literal end of the world final battle with the Dark One.
Trying to say.
Yeah, like there is a little bit of precedent to be like, hey, that takes priority over all the other issues. And they are big issues, but Rand is thinking more of like, I need to save the entire universe, essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All of it.
I get it.
Yeah. But then Min jumps in and she's like, I hate your viewpoint because the prophecies do not say that Rand has to die at the last battle.
Which is technically true. They don't actually say he has to die.
Yeah.
Nowhere does it say he has to die. It talks about his blood on the rocks at Shale Ghul. Like, but that's not, hey, you need to die. There's we have not heard a single prophecy that says Rand has to die.
No. I have several Harry Potter thoughts. All in those things you just said.
Why? What it was?
Well, number one, blood on rocks.
What does that have to do with Harry Potter?
To smear his blood on some rocks to
barely
open up a thing at one point.
Okay.
And then...
Pretty weak.
Okay. Maybe a little bit.
What else?
But then also a prophecy about neither can live while the other survives.
Okay.
Like, that's a prophecy in Harry Potter.
I feel like we've done that one before.
We've definitely talked about that before. But then, round later, says something literally about, like, I have to die to live.
Oh, yeah.
And that feels like very Harry Potter-esque things. And I'm looking for an excuse because we got lovely shot glasses in the mail and I want to use them.
Okay, you know what? I'll accept that. But
It's the end of summer too. I feel like we need to just like have fun.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We can do that. So why don't we get the shots and then we can talk about what the actual prophecy thing there is that he talks about? Because that's actually like a really important point too.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we're back. We're set up. We're ready to go. And we just want to say a really big thank you and a shout out to Elizabeth, who sent us these sake cups from Japan. And she writes in her note, even though they're not shot glasses, they're the right sized.
Yeah.
And she included a sake server, which matches, it's almost like the pottery of the cups, so it's really sweet. So we'll use
they're
those,
very beautiful.
And I love them.
And they're ginormous, so they're not full, because that would be impossible.
No, but you know what? Any excuse at this point.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Cheers.
Okay. Now, Brett, I'm at a bit of a crossroads in my life.
Okay.
Can I tell you about my crossroads right now?
Because you're like, hey, why are we doing whiskey shots on a Tuesday? I don't know.
No, I don't work.
You're on vacation now.
No, a long time ago, somebody said to me, I think it's so funny, the noises that you make when you take shots.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? I edit those right out. And they're like, no, it's great. It's authentic. Keep it in. And lots of people over the years have been like, that's so funny. So it's like, okay, if you say so. So I keep it in.
Okay.
And so people know. But recently we got a review that somebody said my noises after I take shots were cringy.
Oh, no. Okay.
So now what do I do?
Yeah. I don't know.
To noise or no noise?
That's the
because
crossroads.
I will always shot. So
you will always shot, but yeah. And to be fair, the noise is what you actually sound like.
I know.
Yeah.
The review was like, maybe edit those out. Yeah, I absolutely could. However,
yeah.
Now it just goes to show you just cannot please everyone.
That's true.
I'm just at that point in my life where I'm like, you know what? It's way easier just not to edit that.
I was gonna say.
Okay, well, let's continue with some prophecy stuff.
Right. So Rand says it doesn't really matter how unpopular the truce with the Chanchan is, because he went through the doorway trying grill and tear, and one of his questions to the Aelfin was, how can I win the last battle?
Ooh.
So that's what he says to the people in the room. But technically, that's not actually what his question was.
Oh, do we know what his question was?
What his question was, how can I win the last battle and survive?
Oh, yeah, he does share that part later. Okay,
yes, which is a really important question. So the answer to that question is like, how do I win the last battle and survive, is the north and east must be as one, the west and south must be as one, the two must be as one.
Okay, so that means the whole world must be as one. It's a real fancy way to say everyone must be together against the Dark One.
Kind of, sort of, and that's why initially Rand thought he had to conquer everything, because he thought, hey,
everyone everywhere.
But now he's thinking, okay, the Chanchan hold the west and the south, I can hold the north and the east, and then if we collectively come together in a truce, that fulfills the prophecy.
Okay.
And he's not wrong. Like, that's actually a pretty smart strategy.
I can see how he put 2 and 2 together and got 4.
Yeah, well, because the whole point is, like, you can't beat the Chanchan. Like, with the resources that Rand has, like, maybe he can, but even if he blows up a bunch of Chanchan, he already did that, and sure, it pushed them back to a different city, but you can't just wipe every Chanchan off the face of Randland.
No, because we saw them all coming in with their illegal livestock.
Exactly. They're already here. You can't wipe them out. So what do? You got to make a truce. And that's unfortunately kind of the reality he's living in right now.
I know. I just really need some reformed rules.
For sure. Yeah. So now going on a little bit more with that. So then he thinks that the last part of the answer was, to live, you must die.
Yeah, that's the one.
So he thinks, okay, well, how do I to live but die? How does that work?
How does that work? Figure that one out.
What does it mean? Because he really, and we actually know Rand from the beginning is really into reading the prophecies. We saw him doing that in the Stone of Tyr, like way back at the beginning, and he's actually really smart at interpreting what he has to do.
Well, okay.
Like, that's what led him to Ruidian and all that stuff, and being the Car. Like, he figured a lot of that stuff out on his own.
Well, yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like, I got to give him a little bit of props here.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So this is where Cadsuane brings up the whole point of, like, hey, if you're trying to make an alliance with the Chanchan, why are you moving ginormous armies?
Yes, that's okay.
And this is his big information, is like, hey, Tarman Gaiden's coming. I can't fight the Chanchan and the Shadow, and if I can't have a truce, then I'm going to wipe them off the face of the earth, like everybody, no matter what it takes. So he also says...
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
The prophecies say I have to bind the 9 moons to me,
Yep.
and he only recently just found out what that meant.
Because Bashir
showed
is
up
currently...
and was like, you gotta meet with the daughter of the 9 moons.
That's where Bashir is right now. He's looking to set up the meeting, which is a little bit problematic.
It's gonna be tricky because Matt is on the lam with said daughter of the 9 moons.
Yeah, so like, what do? Do we just like delay this meeting until Tuon is found? Because I can totally see it where it's like you set up the meeting and then hope that Tuon comes back by the time
I don't know, like when's Tarmangaiden?
It's like kick the can down the road a little bit here and hope Tuon comes back at some point.
Yeah, if I didn't know there was, 3 books after this?
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, oh no, we're in trouble. We gotta get going.
I know, right? Oh,
yeah,
no.
but the next 3 books could each take place over 1 day each.
Now you're getting it.
Yeah.
Right? Now you get it.
They won't, but
now you
they could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, the next 2.5 books just flashbacks. It's all flashbacks.
Oh my god. No.
It's actually the next just 30 minutes. Tarmangaiden is right now.
Oh my gosh. It's actually Tarmangaiden, but then each book is from someone else's perspective
it's like
of
20...
where they were
it's like
during Tarmangaiden. What am I saying?
Tarmangaiden. That's great.
Like the whole all of Crossroads of Twilight?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the joke I was making.
Yeah.
What's 24?
24 is like the 1 hour of the day and it's like bum bum, and it's like every
hour
every
to
hour.
solve a crime or something. I don't actually know, but that's okay.
I've actually never seen the show. I only know the South Park episode of
Oh, making fun of it. Oh,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
Funny. Okay.
So, anyways.
Now, this is all about to be interrupted by a messenger coming in to say 3 Ogier have arrived, and it's wonderful news. They're very pleased to learn that Master Loyal is here, and one of them is his mother. Isn't that lovely?
They've been walking forever.
Literally ever.
Yeah.
And then they got here. How did they get here? How did they know?
Well, isn't his mother...
in the middle of nowhere hiding out?
His mother's a famed walker.
No, you can walk and walk and walk. That's not what I'm worried about.
How'd they get here?
How did they get to this manor house in the middle of nowhere but Lantier?
Yeah. Where Rand's like in hiding?
Yeah.
Yeah, after cleansing
what? That's my biggest question here, is nobody can find Rand.
Yeah.
But Loyal's mother walking on foot.
Well, you know why? Her son has to get married.
It still doesn't make any sense. And like maybe it'll be explained that
you are gonna marry Aerith.
Nobody knows. Even women who are bonded to Rand and can feel where he is in the world, still don't know exactly where he is.
Just goes to show you the strength of a mother's desire to see her son married.
It's so stupid. Yeah. And like I was just like, are you okay. This whole idea is very comical.
Sure.
And then Loyal starts freaking out. Oh, now my life is over. I have to get married. And then Rand's like, I thought you wanted to get married.
Right.
Edith is lovely.
And he's like, but my book? I need to finish my book.
Yeah, I want to get married, but I don't want to settle down. And my whole thing is like, I bet Edith will be like super cool traveling with you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll be a super modern marriage.
Oh, yeah.
For Ogier, you know?
Makes sense.
Like, they'll be fine.
That's
my
like
prediction.
That. I like that.
However, the most unrealistic thing is that they found them here.
Okay.
On foot.
We're going to have to... Well, maybe there's an explanation.
Maybe they put a tracking device, like, on Loyal or something. You know, like,
right.
It's gotta be... There's gotta be some... If it's not ever explained exactly how they found...
Sure.
Then I'm going to be like, call bullshit on this entire series. Because
that's it. That's the thing.
This is the thing. This is so stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, only people who know his exact location, who can travel in and out of here, know how to find him.
That you know of. You don't even know. Okay.
Anyway, I'm really excited about the marriage, and I really think that Edith will be cool with him.
Well, okay. I think we're assuming a little bit here, because you're saying like this marriage is happening like now.
Well, it probably will.
Well, like, you don't think there's any sort of Ogier customs and marriage and ceremony?
For sure, yeah. They probably need to be in a setting and stuff like that.
Like all that?
Yeah, so Loyal's like, I've already missed so much already because you sent me away.
Right, yeah.
Right? And so...
He's going to have to leave again to get married.
He'll have to leave again to get married, but then maybe he can come right on back.
For sure.
Or if he just communicates.
Sure.
Instead of just assuming
what
people are thinking.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
But welcome to the Wheel of Time.
Here we go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of one of the things about the book series, right?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, at the end of this chapter, after all of that, Nynaeve is like, hey, Rand, a storm is coming, and I don't mean rain.
Yeah.
And Rand's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah. Well, he wants to know time frame. Like, hey, do you know? Like, the last battle, obviously.
How soon? And she's like, I don't know, but it's a terrible storm.
So probably the last battle.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good. Let's keep going.
Yeah, we are. We're going.
Reading.
We're going.
I can't believe you made me read just this chapter and made me stop.
It's gonna...
after all of that, that was really rude.
They got no time.
It was so mean.
They got no time.
I know you have no time.
You get one chapter at a time. That's
what
we got time for.
I know. We'll take it. We'll take our scraps.
Yep.
Please, sir. May I have some more?
How many pages is this one? Is it 20?
I know. On the audiobook, I was like, 35 minutes.
It's like, what is this? One chapter, 35 minutes?
Like, I know. I was like, oh my god, it's not even an hour chapter. Anyway, okay. What are we doing next?
One chapter.
Okay.
It's one chapter.
Is it
basically,
longer?
Slightly.
Okay. Is it interesting? What's it called?
It's called Vows.
Oh!
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you assuming?
Loyal Edith are gonna get married.
Maybe. Okay, I guess we'll see.
Cool. I want to see an Ogier wedding.
Yeah.
That would be neat if that's the case.
Sure.
Because I assume we're not jumping all around unless someone else is taking some vows somewhere else in the world, which
you
would
don't
be
know.
Cool.
Could mean a lot of things.
Don't know.
Could mean a lot of things.
Thing about this. Okay, at some point, I'm going to have to encounter the reason why you like this book.
Come on.
I can't believe we've gotten it yet.
Okay. Give it like a couple more chapters.
Because everyone was like, don't worry, Night for Dreams, it's so great.
It is good so far.
Yep, so good.
Okay, the last half.
I feel like the first little bit really was great. And then it just took
Robert Jordan shines in the second half of his books.
Well, like the last third, I'd say.
Okay.
Which, it's a slow climb for us.
Yeah,
I really just blame you for this one chapter at a time business. But you know what? We keep on trucking.
I blame the economy. But that's okay. Yeah.
Oh, the economy. That's a good thing to blame.
Yeah. The schools.
Government?
Schools.
So many good things to blame.
Yeah.
The weather?
Weather?
I blame the weather most of all.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, well now, before you get very upset that your fiancé has tracked you down across the world and you're gonna have to marry her, I'm gonna say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted and edited by Dani and Brett, produced by Dani and Brett, with Passion Socks, Cody Feltz, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, and Eric Reed. With music by Audionautics. Please be sure to check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We would love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 40 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. You can find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses or how to join our Discord or how to get in touch with us, you can visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping other people find us. Right now, we are offering to send exclusive merchandise to select people who give us 5-star reviews if you leave your username for Instagram or Twitter, and I'll reach out to you that way. Also, please be sure to tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.